We can't believe Matt took that bullet for Fisk. However, the more you think about it, the more it makes sense.
So Matt meets Poindexter in prison. His Poindexter wanted to see him, and you know he's kind of getting sick of his BS. And then Poindexter delivers a line basically saying a good man would defend his even his worst enemy, and that resonates deeply with Matt because remember, Catholicism, Matt's a good person, etc., etc. But Matt's directly responsible for Bullseye escaping from prison and then indirectly responsible for a prison doctor and a prison guard getting murdered.
Yeah.
And then goes and takes a bullet for Fisk, which I still do not understand. But maybe I'm looking at it because I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but
I
I
think I'm
think it
looking at it
makes
wrong.
sense. I mean, especially from like Bullseye's perspective, he was definitely wanting to talk about himself, but Matt's worst enemy is 100% Fisk, and taking that bullet for him, especially when Matt's been putting all this anger onto him and something that he's completely innocent of, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I think it makes perfect sense because in this case, Fisk is actually innocent.
And speaking of which, it has a lot to do with Vanessa. And I like Vanessa. I really dig her scenes in this particular episode. I was surprised, and I like being surprised, to see Adam alive and
Oh
just
yeah.
still caged up. Because I really thought that Fisk had killed him and that he'd broken his promise. But that proves to me two things. He's a man of his word, and he had
He always has been though.
absolutely nothing to do. Yes, but this just grounded it for me. Like
Sure.
he had nothing to do with Foggy's death
Yeah.
because he promised Matt in season three, if you stay off Vanessa, I will leave Foggy and Karen alone. So the fact that he kept this promise to his wife, I'm like, oh, okay, that just cemented that for me. Then Matt coming to terms with, you know, Poindexter. He gets this phone call. He's because and I'm still, unless Griffin tells me otherwise, I've had a shitty week. So, and I just watched the episode late. And unless I missed something, so Fisk hasn't moved to general population, which is a dick
hmm
move, but it's very Fiskish. But why?
I think it's to protect Vanessa. I think he found
Well,
out. She hasn't told him yet, but I think he found out.
so I like that. I like Matt going face to face with Poindexter, um, meeting in this, little room. I like that. For once, Kristen was useful. She's like, hey, you got a phone call. Um, Poindexter wants to meet you. I don't think you should go. And of course, he was gonna fuck with it for a little bit, but of course, he was gonna inevitably end up going. I loved him going to Josie's place. I
Yeah, that
thought
was a
that place
great
was
scene.
shut down. I didn't
They,
think Josie was back there like serving shots, or she was like, "You gonna come in or you just gonna stand there?" I liked him taking a drink with Josie.
I also
I
liked like
like
Josie's memory, like in remembering everyone's like favorite drinks and all those like the Foggy's last moments and how like impeccable it was. That just showed how much she cared about these her well, may not be her friends, but at least her clientele.
Oh, they're her friends.
Yeah.
Um, I love the fact the way that Matt comes to terms and finds out, oh, he wasn't. That's not what he was drinking that night. And for any of you guys who have been following this since season one, they only drink that particular scotch when they really, really win. So that's why Matt's like, no, he wasn't drinking that at all because they had nothing to win that night. They had nothing
Yeah.
to celebrate that night. They were just going out as a couple of friends and, shooting the shit and having a couple of drinks. So the fact that Josie's like, dude, I know my clients. Like I know what he was drinking. And as soon as she was firm on that, Matt's like, he was
It
celebrating
clicked.
because remember they've known each other for they're best friends and they only drink that. And he even tells Heather that in I think episode three. He's like, Foggy and I saved up a lot of money for one of these, and we only drank it when we really won. So the fact that Matt was like he was celebrating, but he was silenced. Um, and now of course there's this whole thing with Vanessa. She's the one that that put the hit on him,
which
which
we
is
kind of
crazy
figured.
as all hell. I It went right over my head. But it's
Really?
kind of crazy because if you remember season three, the end of season three, Vanessa was there when she saw Bullseye walk in
Yeah.
there, ape shit, try to kill her. So the fact that she would contact this dude, hire him, is she's crazier than
Years
him
change
or
people.
Fisk.
Who knows? I'm
She is
surprised you didn't
crazy.
think that it would be Vanessa that did it.
No,
I thought that like
but because of that, because of what she witnessed and the look on her face when she saw Bullseye walk into that penthouse and try to kill her, it just never would have occurred to me. I never thought that it was Fisk. I was never like, oh, Fisk
oh yeah.
had.
No.
I legitimately thought Bullseye got out of that hospital. He got himself back into shape, and he was like, I don't care which one of these three I whack, but I'm gonna whack all three of them eventually. I literally thought it was Bullseye just trying to get revenge on what happened to him. And he knew exactly who Foggy was, who Karen was, and who Matt was. And that's he also knew who Foggy was to Matthew, so that's why he did that.
Hmm.
Because let's face it, let's not bullshit each other. He could have shot Karen in the face at any moment, and he chose not to, because he's saving her
There's
for
a very
later.
good reason for that.
But yeah, 100%. But I never thought that someone had sent him. I always just thought, oh, he's acting on his own.
I think that
He has a
once we
legitimate
got the
beef with them.
building
So
number, once we got the building number, I think it was all but confirmed exactly what was going on.
true. I like this episode, and again, it's not an episode where we see, and I just remember that just now sitting down with Griff. We don't see him in the suit,
Nope.
and I didn't miss him. Not that I don't miss seeing Daredevil. That's why I'm here. Um, but the episode was it was well. I think this is one of the rewrites, if you will. I
It
think
is.
it's after because you could
It's the
kind of just
second
tell.
rewritten episode.
It was good. I liked
It
it.
was.
It was. I don't think it was badly written. No stupid ass BB report.
Bibu was
We got
actually
str
useful.
we yeah. I liked the BB in this
I
episode.
did
I
too.
She spoke to the commissioner. She was like, "Hey, look," and he was like, and I love the dialogue between them when he was like, "You know that he's the main suspect in your uncle's death," and she was like, "Yeah, that's why I'm doing this, dude. I love that shit, man.
Well, I have a
Just do
question
it
for you
better,
on
BB."
line of that, and for everyone in the
What's that?
comments. Do you think the commissioner could be setting her up here to
No.
then gain favor with Fisk?
No, I think the
I
commissioner
hope not.
hates Fisk.
Oh,
I
I
think
believe it.
he's waiting for the right moment. I think he's going to be the one to fuck him.
I hope. Oh
I think
God,
he's
do I
going to
hope?
die. I think
Yeah.
he's going to die, but I think he's going to be the one that's like I think he's Fisk's big mistake. I think if Fisk was smarter, he would have had him removed.
Yes, I agree.
You can't intimidate a guy who's done that kind of work for that long and keep him around. It's just keeping
Plus,
the pot
I
boiling, man. He's just waiting
and
for
I think
this.
greed works better than fear anyway.
Yeah, and so what the commissioner told him to his face, he's like, "You're trash, man."
Yeah.
And he tried to quit. And Fisk, see, there's so much. He's ruining his police force. He's hiring a bunch of low-life cops, and he's making him stay. This guy has more legitimate reason than anyone to just
Whack 'em.
wait. Fisk has now three very powerful enemies, not counting Punisher and Daredevil.
Yeah.
The Commissioner, BB, and Swordsman, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. I agree.
He's pissing off people that he shouldn't. And like this guy's got all the files. Yeah, those files are probably all going to get burnt up. He's probably going to get murdered. But I promise you, and I have no way to know this, season two, the commissioner's at least a big part of how Fisk just gets taken down.
I hope so.
Oh,
I I really enjoyed this episode. I'm not a fan of the season. I do not think this episode saves the season, but looking at this episode solely isolated, I enjoyed it. I do wish we had more of Bullseye sprinkled throughout the season to at least get to this point. Because as Edward said, you can really tell it's one of the rewritten episodes, and it is confirmed to be one of the rewritten ones, as it is a very different tone, different caliber of writing. This is the first time in the entire series, this has felt like the Netflix Daredevil series to me. Even just like just the quality of it. And I was so happy. I loved especially the last 30 minutes with the gala. And there are just so many things I did enjoy. I love seeing Bullseye back, and I loved the callback to the comics, where this happened several times of him killing someone with his tooth. Such a gruesome and badass scene. I loved it, and I always love just those callbacks. And one thing that this show has done almost perfectly in every single episode, and I don't know if those are rewritten scenes, but every time the show showcases it so well, the duality between Kingpin and Daredevil, but this time adding in the another element of Heather and Vanessa, and now their duality as they have these opening scenes showing them side by side. I absolutely loved that. It was a great opening, and I liked seeing a lot more of Kingpin being Kingpin, manipulating all the people who were looking down on him a few episodes back, and now having even them in their pocket. This episode was so well written. This is the first time I think I've actually been excited to see the next episode, and I cannot wait for next week. But I do still have some issues with this episode. I don't know if there are some scenes that just weren't rewritten, but some of them just felt really weird. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but we know Spider-Man's been taking a break. He really hasn't been active in New York since No Way Home. We know this from the confirmation of Brand New Day that he's been inactive for a bit. And we know Swordsman is an active vigilante. Daredevil was not active until the end of Muse, but I don't know why this bugged me. It could just be that I have a master's in statistics. So whenever I hear some sort of statistics thrown out there, I'm like, especially if it's bullshit, I'm like, that's makes no sense. The fact that I don't know why it stuck with me. I don't know why it irked me so much, but the fact they just threw out that ever since the task force started, vigilanteism is down 30%. And I'm just thinking there's been no vigilanteism pretty much at all. I mean, we have swordsman, yeah, sure. We'll take him as 50%. Muse isn't even a vigilante. But if they've been classifying him as such, but sure, if he is, that's still 50% down. We know Miss Marvel's in New Jersey, Kate Bishop's in LA. I didn't like that. That was so weird to me, and I don't get why. That was just so dumb. I don't know why. It was just so fucking dumb to me. I also thought a bit of Heather's lines toward the start of the episode were a bit. It was a bit of the weaker points of the episode. I feel like at this point I am nitpicking as 100% nitpicking this is a great episode, but it's just it wasn't the best. But it was the opener, and then ever since then it just picked up, and it was so well done.
I have to disagree with Griff. He I don't when he says things like I don't think this episode saves the series. I don't think this season or this series needs saving. I'm gonna be frank. There's a lot of shit that Marvel and Disney have
Oh
put
yeah,
out
absolutely.
that have been dog shit compared to this.
I'm saying like
I
saving it
still
for me
think,
because I'm not a fan of it.
oh, gotcha. I still think that this is, and without seeing the season finale, one of the best things that Marvel and Disney have put out in a good while.
Oh fuck no.
Um,
Hell no.
yeah, absolutely. It's way better than
No.
fucking Captain America, whatever the hell.
Well,
To
sure,
me,
you're
it's
choosing okay, but we still have
leaps
Guard.
and bounds better than fucking Agatha all along. I mean, I know there's a bunch of people that like it, but I hated that
No.
goddamn show. It's leaps and bounds better than fucking The Acolyte. That shit was atrocious.
Well, yeah, but you're
I
choosing
don't
like the
think this is
bottom of the barrel.
anywhere.
This is like
Well, yeah, but
maybe
I
middle.
can't. I don't think it's middle. I think
Really.
it's one of the best thing. Well, I'd like to see in the comments, but you guys, I'll leave it up to the jury. But you guys tell us, what do you think? You guys think this is mid? You guys think this is,
I don't this
one of the best
reaches
things?
top five since Endgame.
Oh, I'm not going that far back. And
Okay, how
in
far
no
back? Okay,
ways,
okay. Well, let's clarify.
uh,
Just for me.
last year.
Okay, never mind. Then yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I
okay.
would never be
Okay. Then
crazy
I
enough to
would say
say
this
it's up there
is
with Endgame. And for sure, for me, this series is nowhere, thus far, it's nowhere near, and it was never going to be. on the level of the Netflix show.
I
That
think
show, and I've said it, I
I think
think
this is in top
countless
five
times,
then.
that show to me is some of the, if not the best thing that Marvel has done.
Yeah,
Easily. I compare the original Netflix series to, and you guys are welcome to disagree if you want, but you're wrong, up there with The Dark Knight and any of the other top shit you want to name.
better than
It's
Dark Knight.
that good. This show has had two episodes that have been shit except for the last 5 minutes. I will give Griffin that, and I cannot defend those. I said it the last time. Can't defend that last episode, man. There's no way around it. I'm one of those guys that I just it's not defendable. But I don't think the series is shit. I don't think it's we've had shows that are just absolutely abysmal dog shit.
Yeah,
She-Hulk, fucking Agatha,
I don't
The
think this is dog
Acolyte.
shit. I don't think that.
Again, we have one more episode to go. That episode could either get me on the boat of saying this, fuck this show, I'm done, or it can get me to say, man, it's a good season. I do know that season two will be better
Yeah,
just
I think
because
so.
there's not a bunch of rewriting. There's you got to remember this show was plagued by an overhaul, the writer strike, the actor strike, et cetera, et cetera.
Overhaul. They didn't. All they did is replace. They just rewrote the last two episodes, and
I don't know if it was just the last two episodes. For
they've
me, the
confirmed what
first
was been
episode,
rewritten. The
the
first
nah,
episode and the last two
who's
have been
confirmed
rewritten.
it though? Because Marvel hasn't come out with an official statement saying we've done this is what's
Okay,
changed. This is
from
not it.
Marvel insiders, what has been
Uh,
changed?
I I don't know, man. But the ones that I can tell that have been changed are clearly episode one.
Yeah.
Episode one was going to be completely different. There was at least one other one, and then this one, and clearly the last episode, which I keep thinking was going to be either last week or this week, and that's just because John Barenthal's like, you know. But
You've
I,
been saying this coming for weeks now.
but what he did say was like, look, whatever I was involved with, I wasn't happy, and I had to be a part of how it was written. And John really loves this character, so
Yeah.
because he had walked from them. Even after having already been signed and hired, he walked. He's like, yeah, I just don't want to do that. So yeah, I give this episode an 8. Can't give it a
Yeah.
10, an 8. I
Yeah.
liked it.
I could do that. Is it better than the bank robbery?
No,
Really? Okay.
yeah, no,
Good to know.
I dug that one, man.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, that I said it then. I think this is my favorite episode. I'm
Yeah.
still on that boat.
Okay. We'll take it.
Yeah, that episode was fucking 10 out of 10. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what your thoughts are on episode 8 of Daredevil Born Again. If you enjoyed our review here, you can check out our previous review for episode 7 right now.
Take care, guys.